in the shows we saw this time around, starting with Ken Davenport's Joy the Musical with music and lyrics by Anne-Marie Milazzo is how pluck, determination, and a damn good idea can change your life. Poor Joy is struggling to maintain her family. Her mother, Toots, who won't leave her house since her husband divorced her. Her father is now going with Lorraine. Her ex-husband, Tony, who lives in the basement, does nothing to contribute to the finances as he doesn't even have a job. Her daughter, Christy, is angry with her mom because she can't go to Disney with her class because they can't afford it. Now, Joy is always coming up with ideas that everyone poo-poos, but this miracle mop is something that she has faith in. She asks her father for help, and he finds Cowboy Eddie to back them. Will this mop get the family back on their feet, or will Cowboy Eddie mop the floor with them? I don't know if it was the exceptional cast or the inspiring story of perseverance that made this work, but it does. Happy face.
Call Me Izzy is a new play by Jamie Wax, directed by Sarna Lapine, and it stars six-time Emmy Award winner Jean Smart. In fact, she won her last 3 Emmys for her portrayal of the actress Deborah Vance on Hacks, in which she's brilliant. Well, just as brilliant as she's on TV. She's also a brilliant stage actress who has appeared on Broadway many times. And she portrays Izzy here, a woman with a talent for writing who's in an abusive relationship.
And I gotta say, I was very excited that this was written by Jamie Wax because I watch CBS Morning News and he's a correspondent on there. So it'd be like if you found out Gayle King was a playwright. It's just like, really? And it was so good. It was so well written. And you really feel for this poor woman who has to write her poetry on toilet paper. And, we hear about her husband, it's a one-person show, but she's such a good actress. She's such a good storyteller. This is so well written that, she just draws us in telling the story of her life and the people in her life and the harrowing things she has to do to try to get away from him and try to get people to see her writing. And it's just, she creates this vision in your head that the whole stage is not one person. You're just transported into her world. And you're just like rooting for her, like, please get out of this relationship. I don't know if she will or not. Will she or won't she? I mean, will her writing save her? Will she save herself? This was just phenomenal. I mean, I love her in Hacks too, but this is a whole new level of Jean Smart that you have just got to see because it is just phenomenal. This gets an actual phenomenal happy face.
Oh, I love her. I love Jean Smart to begin with, and I love her performance in this. I think she's an amazing actress. I hope she gets remembered for next year's Tonys because she's opened so early in the season, and she certainly, definitely deserves to be remembered because it's a wonderful performance. I'm not as crazy about the play as you are because I feel I've heard it before, this woman who can't get out of her abusive relationship. But that doesn't really make a difference here because I think this play needs to be seen simply for Jean Smart, who's so amazing. And I'll give it a happy face because that performance triumphs over everything for me. And we should say it's playing through August 17th at Studio 54.
At 5090 Theaters, we have Brian Dykstra's Polishing Shakespeare, which is a clever satire against wealthy sponsors of theater companies and the lengths you are willing to go through to preserve your theater and the arts. Grant, Mr. Dykstra, is willing to give a grant to Ms. Branch, who is thrilled now that funding has been cut. They are trying to pitch a young playwright, Janet, to come on board with their mission. Grant wants to make Shakespeare accessible to an audience. Basically, he wants to dumb it down so the masses can finally understand Shakespeare and not be intimidated by him. It is like translating Chekhov, We don't speak Russian, so we can't understand it. We don't speak Elizabethan English, so it needs to be translated. Will Janet be lured away to do this with the promise of paying off her student loans? Can it be done to grant satisfaction? The minute I walked in and saw the stuffed bear on the shelf, I couldn't help laughing. I knew I was going to like this play, and I didn't have to be pursued by a bear. It was done with iambic, alliterative, flowery rhymes, and some tongue twisters that the actors handled with aplomb. Janet had a tirade against directors that made me want to stand up and shout. Finally, someone calling out the Eva von Hoves of the theater world. Oh, I was thrilled. The acting was quite wonderful. Brian Dykstra knows he has all the power because he is controlling the purse strings. Kate Levy has to juggle pleasing this benefactor, keep her theater going, and convince this playwright to join them because it is what Grant wants. Kate Rigg, as a playwright, Janet is trying to keep her integrity and not sell out. This play will make you think about what we are putting up with these days and be able to laugh about it. For anyone who doesn't get Shakespeare, doesn't get why they have to set his plays in the Wild West or other bizarre interpretations, Bina would like that part, doesn't get why the rich few get to dictate to the rest of us, this is a play for you. Verily, a merrily happy face.
Purpose is written by Brandon Jacobs Jenkins and directed by Felicia Rashad. In this play, Naz Jasper narrates and reflects upon a weekend at his family's home in Chicago, meant to celebrate his mom's birthday, in which things went awfully wrong. Naz's mother, Claudine, a lawyer by training, is a clever woman who generally managed to control everything in her house. His father, Solomon Sonny Jasper, was a famous preacher and civil rights leader who now in retirement has become an avid beekeeper. Naz is an asexual loner who has been taking art photographs of Canadian lakes. He has been driven home from Niagara Falls by his neighbor friend Aziza, to whom he donated sperm to help her get pregnant. His older brother, Solomon Jr. Jasper, a politician who has just come out of jail for fraud. Junior's wife, Morgan, is due to enter jail for tax fraud soon. Because they have 2 kids, their jail terms are consecutive. Morgan has not brought their children to the Jasper home because she wants to keep them away from what she rightfully realizes is a toxic atmosphere. The horrible spats and misunderstandings at the dinner table of this dysfunctional family are amusing to the audience, but not to the family. I loved the set of the family's upscale home, and I enjoyed the performers. The play runs 3 hours, which is quite painful. An hour of Naz's commentary could easily be removed. There are 2 wonderful scenes in the later part of the play. In one, Morgan presents to Naz a cogent and damning analysis of her marriage. In the other, Naz and his father have perhaps their deepest conversation ever. Naz is able to articulate some of his thoughts on spirituality, and his father actually listens and seems to understand. I feel this would have been a much better play with more top-notch dialogue and less of Naz's blather. I gave it mixed faces plus.
And I should mention this got the Pulitzer Prize. Every single person in that got nominated at one award category or another, whether it was Outer Critics or whether it was the Tonys or Theater World Awards. So this play is doing very well without anything we say. But that said, I really enjoyed this a lot. I mean, any play that Carrie Young is in, I am like, oh, she's just beyond adorable. And I was excited because the patriarch, it was played by Harry Lennox, who I know from Blacklist. Normally, I just know theater people, but in this case, it's like, oh, I'm excited by a TV person. And and I could relate to the boy, Naz, because he just reminded me of somebody I know very well. So it's like, oh yeah, that actually okay. Oh, all right. I feel bad for the mom. Yeah, it was. They were interesting characters, and I enjoyed the family drama a lot, and I really would have liked a piece of that birthday cake. So I'm giving it a happy face minus. I liked it better the second time around. I think I was less tired and more awake.
I love Purpose, and I think that Brandon Jacob Jenkins is one of the best writers that we have around. As you just mentioned, he won the Pulitzer Prize for this piece. And I think what I really loved most about it was elevated by the realistic acting of the six performers in the cast. And as you mentioned, LaTanya Richardson Jackson, Harry Lennox, John Michael Hill, Glenn Davis, and Carrie Young all were nominated for Tonys. And Alana Arenas, who wasn't nominated for Tony, won a Theater World Award. So they are all really brilliant performances that elevate this piece. Happy face plus for me.
Jess Barbagala with the Cemetery Soup has once again written a WBE weird but enjoyable play. We hear a dog's thoughts as they converse with grass, a gravestone that proclaims announcements and makes friends with a soup-making woman. The cemetery groundskeeper likes his recreational drugs, but never meth. JB in a tux comes out to set up the disparate scenes as the living live with the dying. Carolyn has lost her beloved dog Boots. She's making a movie in the cemetery where all the previous characters, be they dog or grass or stone, are now humans attempting to make a movie, fall in love, stay in love, get away from love. There are so many twists and turns and changes that you never know what delights the next scene will hold. At first, they seem like separate mini plays, but soon they all converge together. The play is full of political bon mots, silly and profound situations, and sometimes even heartbreak. Jordan Baum as JB is awkwardly suave. Addie Guidry is sexy as grass and rather lost as Mikey. Emma Good is rather a stable force amongst all the swirl of emotions when she's playing Carolyn, and then she gets to play a dog, Tilly. Spencer Kramer is hilarious as a gravestone and makes you laugh every time he opens his mouth. As Jester, he has complicated relationships and really loves his old dog, Tilly. Rich Carrillo is grounded in his job as groundskeeper at the cemetery, and Sasha Giesling is such an adorable dog and mesmerizing human. I thoroughly enjoyed this immensely. Happy face plus. Well, here we are with some very special guests who are appearing in the festival going on right now called Broadway Bound with an incredibly interesting historical play. I can't wait to hear about it and how they even found out about this unknown historical fact.
Hi, Ava. Thank you for having us on the show. I'm Alicia Foxworth. I'm producer and playwright for Ghostwriter, an Abolitionist Tale.
My name is Aixa Kendrick, and I am the director for Ghostwriter and Abolitionist Tale, and I am so thrilled to be here.
And what's it about? And how did you find the story?
Oh my goodness. I am also a writer, as I just noted, and I started writing what I thought was a love story. It turned out to be much of a freedom story as I continued to do research about the abolitionist movement, but particularly here in New York State. And I wanted to just represent my state, my home state, actually. I'm a native New Yorker, and share about what we as native New Yorkers have done to fight for freedom for people everywhere and right here at home.
But who is this ghostwriter? Who is the abolitionist ghostwriter?
Well, that is a secret that you actually have to come to see the play to find out. It is part of the opportunity that knocks at your door, that helps our characters come into what is a sleepy town on the offshore of Brooklyn. And it's a small island town, and they're able to thwart an underground slave market that's going on at the time and get others to freedom. So you have to come see the play to find out who everybody is.
Oh, so it's sort of like the resistance fighters during World War II.
And there are so many different groups that were a part of the freedom effort, and we certainly do showcase some of those characters, those parties throughout American history that have helped us to obtain freedom. But definitely, you want to come and see it for yourself, because it may resonate with many people, not just the resistance fighters in the World War, but other marginalized groups that are experiencing the efforts of human trafficking and other forms of oppression, even still today.
How I came on board, how I found out about it was really through our illustrious playwright, Alicia Foxworth, and who is also a fabulous producer and who's part of this whole Broadway Bound, moving one into another level, as well as getting the playwrights, as they say, the playwrights who are on stage, getting their stage light. And so the focus is on their work.
Oh, what about the story appeal to you?
Oh my gosh. So many things, so many layers. I mean, just the title alone is so exciting. It's so mysterious, and you're like, what is going on here? Who is exactly what you were asking, Eva? Who is this ghostwriter? What is this about? Right? Doesn't it just intrigue you? And then as I read the script, I was like, wow, there are so many layers going on here. And they're delicious, delightful layers, which are actually very prevalent and was prevalent during the time, as well as when it came to the collective, or what I sometimes nicknamed them, the consortium of folk who from all different walks and ages and stages in their life and places in the world come together for this larger purpose, which, as Alicia wonderfully described it, as human trafficking. I mean, that's what slavery was, and there is still going on in so many different ways when it comes to take people using another human being as a form of labor, as a form of entertainment, as a form of whatever it is, and not seeing people as human, but seeing people as something valuable to extort. So I found that this piece is layered with a lot of historical truth. It's layered with powerful emotions that a lot of people can relate to. Any human being can deal with a lot of the dynamics going on here, as well as just a really great entertaining story. A lot of great stuff that's happening, even a lot of humor that you can find in just the reality of people and dealing with the world.
It is a fictional story based in actual truth of our American history. And so I created the kinds of characters that resembled freedom fighters throughout the ages. We have the preacher that tells the Bible stories on Sunday morning, but then he rides a buggy across the border of Canada with slaves hidden underneath fruits and vegetables to try to get them to freedom. You have the educators who want to teach young Negro children how to read and write. You have the freedom fighters that hide in plain sight, that help other slaves to escape, and it goes on and on. You have the abolitionists, the Quakers, the people who, even though their skin might have been white, still fought for the human rights of others. And so I put together what I hope will appeal to many different races, people of various backgrounds, and also to demonstrate how we as a human collective have come together to fight, for the rights of others.
It shows that some people, there are some horrible people in the world, but thank God there are good people to counteract the evil. There's always going to be some good guy to go against the bad guy.
Absolutely. And I think one of the key things that Alicia put in this piece, which is something that's driving, I believe, outside of, which is driving the characters, outside of this amazing energy that all humans need, which is hope. The hope for something better, the hope for a better tomorrow, the hope for a better place in the world. is the desire to grow, the desire to become something. You know that there's something more for you. So regardless of whatever these restrictions are around you, whether it's called slavery, whether it's called the situation that you may have in the dynamic of your home space, there is something, as the phrase, it's centered around Emancipation Day. But I find that is something that is part of a human journey, is at some point, how do you emancipate yourself and get past and move beyond whatever restrictions that somehow you found yourself in your world or in your home space, and how you go beyond that, how you have the courage to challenge that and go beyond that.
I'm just getting goose pimples now. And it's only 3 performances. So are you hoping this launches, or are you getting people there so that it can have a longer run? Because it needs a longer run, it seems to me. I think everyone should see this.
Absolutely, absolutely. The founders of Broadway Bound Theater Festival, Lenore Skamal, she has been very keen on having other producers come and check out the works of all the participating playwrights in our cohort. And so with mine as well, I am hopeful that many will accept her invitation to come and see our work. We've been working very feverishly for several weeks and over a month actually. And so we are hopeful that people will come out and check out our work. And who's to say what doors may open to us hereafter.
So it's going on at AMT, right? The AMT Theater. And what are the dates?
So you're looking at Wednesday, a matinee at 2 p.m. That is August 13th. You're looking at an evening show on Thursday, August 14th at 8 p.m. with a talk back after the show with the playwright, myself. And then you have a final show on Saturday at 5 p.m. That is August 16th. So there are 3 opportunities at different times of the day based on your schedule to catch the show, to come on out and support. And there are also a lot of other plays that are amazing that people can come and take advantage of and enjoy. It's summer festival, it's festival season.
See, you can't keep good people down in the arts. Nothing will stop us from creating still. So thank you very much. I'm totally looking forward to this. And check out your show and other shows and everything. Just check out everything at Broadway Bound. And may your show get a longer run so more people can see it.
I look forward to that. Thank you.
Richard Skipper is back at the Laurie Beechman August 22nd with his music director, Don Pardo, and it was directed by James Beechman. I saw an earlier version of everything you always wanted to know about Richard Skipper, but were afraid to ask. Somehow, afraid in the title and Richard Skipper don't go together. There is nothing scary about Richard Skipper, who just exudes warmth and good times to come. This is never truer than his opening number, Open the Door, where it greets us with a video of himself and aspects of his life. He comes into the audience with a sparkly jacket that matches the sparkle in his eyes and voice as he sings, "Sing, sing a song." He wants to balance past and present, artist and audience, and give and take. And when he arrived in New York City, he stayed at the YMCA, and New York became his own personal property. He talked about his various jobs to survive and his start in show business, his stint and friendship with Carol Channing, and most important of all, his first meeting with his husband, Danny, from Buffalo, I might add, 35 years ago at the old Marie's Crisis Cafe. To all the couples in the audience, he sang, "I Believe." And believe me, it was heart-hugging. Richard schmoozes with people in the audience who meant a great deal to him, like K.T. Sullivan. And he regaled us with wonderful Dodie Goodman stories. God, I loved her. Not only does he sing songs that we all know and love, but he puts a smile on everyone's face, and everyone feels renewed to face whatever awful things that are going on in the world, because you are ready to open a new window. A dazzling happy face.
Jason, Medea, and the Tragedy at PS19 Talent Show follows a married couple who live in New York's East Village with their young son. She is an actress and decides at a press conference for her next project to drop a personal bombshell. Loosely based on Euripides' Medea, the plot contains elements of passion, betrayal, gender expectation, and revenge. It's a solo show written and performed by Mark Blaine and deftly directed by Dante Foucault. Mark Blaine is an exceptional performer, portraying all the characters from each of the couple to her showbiz agent. Elements supporting the show include film, specific lighting, and music. Dante Foucault's directing is sharp, and every moment in this show is unique and exciting. The theater space is intimate and really serves this show very well. The standout of this show is Mark Blaine. He is a superior actor and makes Jason Medea and the tragedy at PS 19 well worth experiencing. I give this show a happy face plus.
So our next show will be on August 23rd. I love The Princess Bride. So I went to the 5th annual Little Shakespeare Festival going on until August 17th, presented by Frigid New York at Under St. Mark's, where I saw Michael Hagan's As You Wish It, or The Bride Princess, or What You Will, which takes some famous Shakespeare lines and monologues and superimposes them on The Princess Bride for a most smashing mashup, and it closed August 9th. So anyway, you can see my review on Facebook. I also saw on July 10th the Hotsy Totsy tribute to The Princess Bride, a couple of the highlights with Inigo Montoya, who swashed and unbuckled to Oh Daddy. Every time she said, "My name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die," she would place a name tag on her body and even had them as pasties. And then there was a rodent of unusual size, a huge funny rodent costume with pasties, looking like a demented, sexy mascot. The next one is August 14th at the Slipper Room, The Last of Us or Evil Dead of Us, a hotsy-totsy send-up of zombie films. It should be funny and delightful as well. Bruno Giraldi is back at Don't Tell Mama with his Love or Death, with John Bowen on the piano and Christopher Tramontana as a guest, August 23rd at 7 o'clock. The Broadway Bound Festival that we talked to our guests about is going on until August 17th at AMT Theater, and there'll be other plays there, so check out Facebook for coverage. And closing August 23rd, you have Josh Sharp's Tada at Greenwich House Theater and Greg Dubin's Magic at Precision Clock Shop in Brooklyn. So have a great summer, and we'll see you August 23rd.